Hello again, I'm Simon, and I thought I'd go back to talking about orienteering techniques rather than types of orienteering. So this week, I'll be talking about simplification. And so, what is simplification? It's the act of boiling your legs down into the features that matter, instead of only looking at those things. So when I'm running a leg, I'm not looking at every little knoll, every little hill, that kind of thing. I'm just going to go, here's the features I care about, and look at those. So it sort of ties into attack points, maybe bearings and a couple of other things. But it's just boiling the things down to what you need to look at. So why do we use simplification? It's so we can focus on other things, so planning ahead or just running faster through rougher terrain. Because if your thought process is all about, I'm going past this knoll, this knoll, this knoll, then you're losing time, whereas if your thought process is, I'm going to look for this big hill, I can run to that, I can think about what I'm doing while I'm running to that. So when do we use it? You'll use it on long legs a lot of the time. So often the long leg is a route choice leg, and once you've figured out the route choice leg, it's just a case of thinking about where you need to make the decisions. You use it on legs with good attack points and stepping stones. So an example of that one would be control 11 to 12. Like, I've got this really good attack point in this hill here. I've got a stepping stone in this other hill. And so that makes it a really good time to simplify, because I just need to look at these two obvious features and I don't need to care about all the little lumps and bumps and things you can see in there. You can also use it basically all the time on a sprint course, because the sprints are all about running faster and the terrain is already simple. And so you just need to figure out how to navigate it as fast as possible, and you just look at, I tend to think things in terms of lefts and rights, so I can simplify things down as I start a sprint. So as I was talking about with an example, control 17 to 18, you've got one hill here, and you've got one hill here. So as I'm running, I'm going to go past one hill and go over another hill, and my control should just be on that. It sounds like attack points, and basically for this leg it is, because I'm just thinking about that. And as I'm running that leg, I'm actually thinking also about what am I doing next and exit directions. And so because I'm thinking about these two obvious features, I don't need to think about much more, and I can actually look ahead to control 19 and figure out how I'm going to do 19. Again, in simple terms, I'm going to come out of 18, sort of a sharp right angle. I'm going to head towards this hill feature, and I'm going to just look for a depression in the middle of it. That's pretty much how that works. So looking at some of the other courses, so I'll bring up the middle distance from Nationals now. If you have a look at 12 to 13 was the leg I simplified. And so there's a lot of contour features and detail through here that you could look at, but you don't need to. There's a lot of tracks, again, you don't need to look at those too much. So what I actually did for 12 to 13 is simplified it right down. I came across through here, around the bottom of the flat, so I knew where I was. And then came up the re-entrance. So my thought process was, I'm going to hit this flat area here, and I'm going to leave out the top of this re-entrant into my control. And that's basically what I ended up doing. So as I ran, came over here, through here, through here. I'm not thinking about much at this point, it's just I'm going to look for this re-entrant at the end, found it, came up here, come out to the right slightly. As it happened, I actually came up a little bit too high because I'd oversimplified. So I'd actually probably should have used, say, this hilltop, or taken a more accurate bearing out of the re-entrant. But simplifying it right down to start with, it's a good idea. So one of the hazards of simplifying, as I just mentioned, is that you can oversimplify. So, for example, for 9 to 10, I'll just zoom out a bit so you guys can see it. You've got a control here, there's a lot of stuff going on. If all I'm thinking about is I'm going to run up, hit this flat area, come into the re-entrant, come up around to the re-entrant, and I should see it, I've actually oversimplified. Because as it happens, if you have a look at 10 carefully, it's in a erosion gully, so even if you come up into the re-entrant, you might not see it from there. So often when you're simplifying a leg, it's good to make sure that you have that last bit working properly. And so I'll look at the control descriptions and that kind of thing, and that should tell me exactly, and I hope to be able to find my way from the last stepping stone to the control. So I was talking also about sprints. And so I said that basically you use sprints all the time. So bringing up the sprint course from Nationals, a lot of legs, just you can boil down to left or right at 1 to 2. Am I going to go right or left? 3 to 4, am I going to go right or left? 4 to 5, you should go left. Right. So as I'm thinking about these things, I'm just thinking I'm going to go left around this building, and that might be all the thinking I'm doing. So a little bit more complicated leg is 6 to 7. Again, just simplifying it down. So you can either come around to the right, something like that. And so for me, that would involve thinking about, I'm going to go around the edge of this building between these two buildings, back past 2 even. It's probably what I think about. I'm going to go back past 2 and just go straight on from there. And then as soon as I go past the building, I'll go left and into 7. Or you could take the right route, which goes either round that way or through here. And so the far right route is actually a bit simpler because you don't have to do much thinking. I'm going to come right around all of these buildings. I'm going to see this park-like area and just come straight in to 7. And so in that case, you've chosen a simpler route because it saves time and effort thinking, and means you can use that to plan ahead some more and do some other things. So that's just simplification. And so I'll see you guys again next week. But until then, bye.